Happy week's end. Welcome to the stream. Stream after 2 days off, which is weirdly unusual for me. Out of the norm, you could say. So on the VOD channel, you're gonna get like 2 Fata Morgana streams back to back. Funny how that can happen. Yeah, ended up taking Wednesday just off stream. I got back at a reasonable hour, but I was just not in like a streaming mood after it. And then obviously Thursdays I usually take off anyway, so we're here now. And I hope this weekend I'm out of like my general, I don't know how else to describe it other than a general gaming funk. Just a mood that I can sometimes get into, I feel like. And hopefully we fight through and I'm able to do a couple things this weekend on stream as well. But because I also didn't stream on Wednesday, originally Wednesday I was going to do Deltarune Chapter 5 and start that, but we didn't do that Wednesday, so I'm doing that tonight. We're gonna read Fata Morgana for a couple hours, and then we're gonna start Deltarune's Chapter 5 for a couple hours after. A nice roundish, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. Gross. A roundish, hopefully a 4-hour stream around tonight. We'll get 2 hours of Fata Morgana in, we'll get 2 hours of Deltarune in, and we'll call it a night, is the plan. But first, we absolutely must recap, and I don't think this one's going to take very long to recap. So we start with immediately the maid is like, all right, well, I'm going to tell you a story, and this is my story. And it basically picks up right after Mikkel died, right? Like, Mikkel's dead, and she's like, well, now I gotta tell you, I'm gonna adjust my mic, sorry, that makes a bad sound. I'm gonna tell you why everything sucked shit after he left me. So then, right as she's, like, grieving her man's death, she hears the witch Morgana, like, in her head, who was apparently in the head of Mikkel anyway, but now that he's dead, Morgana's like, I gotta find a new person, I guess. So she fills, what's her face? Giselle's, I was trying to think of the name, Giselle. She fills Giselle's head with nasty thoughts. And then she's like, and I also offer you a deal with reconstitution or reconstruction or whatever the word was. Ooh, don't take that out of context. And then it's like for whatever that deal for her or Mikkel, I guess technically Mikkel will reconstitute or reconstruct. And then the maid, I don't know if she comes out and says it, but the witch Morgana's like, and you're gonna just be this immortal being who just is tied to this mansion, basically waiting for Mikkel to maybe or maybe not arrive. Obviously, bad deal, but, you know, that she's grieving, she's sad. Remember in the last stream or two where I was like, Giselle's life is shit. She thinks her life is shit and is not worth living if Mikkel's not with her. So she's like, well, this is like it's a far off shot, but like, what else? What are my other choices, basically? So she's grieving. She has all this grief. She was willing to throw her life away before with how much it sucked. Remember I was talking about that? And this Mikkel guy's like the only person that she found comfort in. So I can't like blame her 1,000,000%, but obviously bad deal. You don't make deals with weird witch thing voices in your head. I digress. So she took the deal, and then like I said, she basically gets like bound to the mansion. Because the witch is like, oh, you have to be at this mansion because I'm having other people at some point in the period of the universe coming to stop at this mansion, so you have to shepherd them and care for this mansion while they fuck around in this mansion thing. And so that's all the door stories that we've seen earlier in the game. That was then we saw Giselle going through this time and all. And then basically I think we just go through the eras of the doors with the characters we've seen before, and everything is like just sad. We see all the sad again. We're remembering all the sadness. And it's like an extra layer of sadness because now we have the perspective of, because when we were going through the doors before, we were feeling bad mostly for the white-haired girl, and then like a couple other people. Like maybe we felt bad for Mel a little bit. You know, actually the other doors we don't really feel bad for people really. Well, no, that's not true. We felt bad for like, what was the girl opposite Depressed Coconut Head? Whatever her name was, we felt bad for her. I guess there was a sympathetic character along with the white-haired girl in each story, maybe? Yeah. So before we felt bad for these characters, but now we feel bad for the maid, who, it's interesting because the maid used to just be like this character that was around, but when we were first experiencing these doors, we were always just like, oh, you're just like a part of this, but you're not a token of sadness that we should be caring about, I think. But now we're like, oh, now we know the backstory, and you're here, and you're tied down, and you have this other thing that's been going on this whole time. So basically, we see Giselle going through these different eras and confirming with the white-haired girls and the people that they're there, and she's like trying to restir their memories because she thinks this is the white hair, pale skin. Red eyes, maybe, I guess. This has got to be the person I'm waiting for. This is the reincarnation or whatever of my Mikkel. And she's like, what's your name? You would be like, what's your name? What's your name? Fucking, do you remember me? Do you remember these other people? And the white hair girl's like, my name is Michelle. And then at that point, the stream and this series world gets rocked. Well, hold the presses. It's where we learn I've probably have been saying Mikkel's name wrong the whole time. It probably, or maybe, was supposed to be pronounced as like Michel or Michel or Michel. I'm intentionally saying it as like a French accent, like a shitty French accent, because that Michel is like I think a somewhat common French guy name, like Michel, and then this makes sense for the story if it was like, oh, it's also Michel. And I've sat on this for the last couple of days. I'm like, do they think people, because it's not voiced, we don't know, do most people reading this think that name is Michel at first? Probably not. Did the game do this intentionally so that we were less? Because if I went throughout this whole game going Michelle for Michael, Michael Mouse, maybe there's more of a chance I would have been a little more, I don't know. I don't know what the object of this, but the thing is, Michelle, maybe, but no one is mad at me at the end of this for this simple mistake. I'm sure it's an easy mistake to make. There's no way I would have known if there's no voices in this game. And I honestly can barely read English on a consistent basis. So, like, what do you want me to do with French names? That's my defense on all this. So at that point, I explicitly made clear that we're too deep at this point in to, like, make a change. We're not going to name change here at this point. We need, as I always say, we need more clarity than correctness, in my humble opinion, when we are reading visual novels. We got to be consistent. Consistency and clarity more than correctness. And this simplifies who we're actually talking about, honestly, whenever we bounce around. So I don't feel that bad, really. So if you're, like, mad at me, if you watched the last stream and you're mad at me, or you've been mad at me throughout this whole series, and you're like, I wish you were saying the name correctly, or I wish now that you are probably proven incorrect, you would change the name to Michelle or whatever, I have news for you. I don't feel bad. All right? Again, like I said, clarity over and concise clarity over correctedness here on this channel. So, and I think I jumped a bit. I've jumped a bit in the story. So then, before she goes through all the different eras and is talking to the white-haired girls of the different eras and the doors, she meets, like, this old dude. He's, like, the first one, I think, who shows up to the mansion. And he was actually pretty chill. And what have we seen throughout this whole game is that the chill old people, something inevitably bad happens. Like, and you're like, oh, that wasn't a chill old person. But no, this person seemingly pretty chill. I forget his name. Don't think it's too important, but he basically teaches her how to be like a maid and stuff, and basically corrects her personality is the best way I want to say, or at least gets her to stop being such a sad sack. And I know that sounds very negative and very mean of me to say, but basically he indirectly is like, you gotta like fight for yourself on a mental level kind of thing. Like, he's like, this is it, like under the guise of like, oh, you'll never be a maid if you act like this, or your personality's like this or whatever. And she finds like weird comfort in this, and I don't mean weird in that it's weird that she does, because she's obviously having a hard time, having a hard go at it. But like, she's like, she takes comfort in this old man who shows up at this mansion. Lo and behold, it ends up being an old relative, maybe grandpa or grandparent or something of the family that we then inevitably see through the first door of the Mel and Nellie and all that. So grandparent to like Mel and Nellie, Mel. I hate their fucking names. So he's like of that branch of family, right? So they have like this time of doing things, and he eventually ends up getting like sick or something, and dies, and he's like on his deathbed, and he's like, remember, just like Lion King and remember who you are or whatever. It's like he was on his deathbed, so he's like, oh, remember what I've taught you about being a maid or whatever. So he dies, gives nice words to live by. I know I'm probably making it seem trivial in this recap, but they are words that she takes to heart. Like, she internalizes these words quite well. And then we just have a string of what we'd already seen, basically. Fucking Nellie shows up. Fucking Bestia guy, who I completely forgot about for a little bit, he shows up. Fucking Pinocchio shows up. Like, all of the worst people that we've seen in this game, we speed run basically all these doors, and we see somewhat from the maid's perspective, because like I said, she was sidelined when we were first experiencing these doors, and now that we know she's a very important character, she's brought forth a little bit. But like I said, Nellie, Bestia, Pinocchio, fucking all this shit. In the Pinocchio door, she's sad because that era's like white-haired girl is married. There was like a specific, I remember a note where it was like, oh shit, I found out that the white-haired girl Michelle is fucking married to this clown. This makes doting and fawning over this white-haired girl and all the bad things that are gonna happen to her like even more painful, because she's just whatever. And then I think they recounted these things, and then Mikkel and the maid are like, all right, we gotta leave this mansion, because clearly it's kind of fucked up. Whatever we're experiencing in this mansion, I think this is how this works. They were like, look, we gotta fucking leave. And there was some trepidation, because they're like, well, what if we leave? Like, we're clearly like bound to this mansion, or if we try to leave, like something's gonna happen. Like, who knows what's gonna, like, fucking this cursed place. Like, we leave, like, what's gonna happen? They're like, well, we either stay here and life sucks shit, or we leave and took a chance and then something bad happens to us. But I mean, like, whatever. And then they're about to leave or something, and then the witch Morgana is like, fuck no, you aren't. And she basically, like, black hole sucks in Giselle. She just, like, and just abysses, like, Giselle or something. And Mikkel's like, no, grab my hand, and she's like, I'm trying. And it was a long moment too, where he's like, grab it, and we're stuck on the CG where she's like falling, and then we see like some kind of like manifestation, artistic representation of, like, I think of Morgana the witch, and he's like, take my hand, and she's like, fucking, I'm trying. And then basically we get like a title drop thing that's like the house in Fata Morgana, And then right below it, a sub thing that's like the story behind the story. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of bullshit are we about to experience? And that is where the recap ends. And that's where the stream ended. So, we're gonna see the story behind the story, whatever that means. It does say new beginnings here. Are these numbers chapters? No, these are numbered save slots. Whoops. I was about to say, am I on like something called chapter 11? Nope. New beginnings, it says. What kind of bullshit? What kind of bullshit can we expect tonight? Let's go. The story behind the story. All right, question marks. Hey, Master. Hello? Is anyone in there? Master? If I could get like 2 hours of happiness tonight, I'd be golden. It was Giselle. It's Giselle before she got transformed into the maid or something. Oh, good. Welcome back. What's gone into you? I thought you had fallen asleep with your eyes open. I'm not accustomed to people needing my attention. Or, I suppose, talking face to face at all. This is my mansion? Giselle's right in front of me, smiling like she always did. Smiling for me. You're not hurt. Giselle? Oh, this is some, like, made up, like, they're in, like, a fake dream nightmare scenario. I think Morgana sent them to, like, a nightmare realm or something. I can already feel it. I can already feel it. This is not... Something's not right. Something's not right. You have been alone for 10 years. But now I'm living here with you. So what do you say we do a little practice conversation? Practice conversation? What exactly do you think I am? Yeah. No offense intended. I just thought it'd be nice if you had more back and forth skills. So in short, you're saying I'm such a poor conversationalist I need training? Hey, don't get so snippy. That's not what I meant. I'm saying we don't talk enough and I want to talk to you more. It's fun. It's fun. Mr. Grumpy Pants. No, this is an old memory from when Giselle first returned to the mansion and we were just starting our new life together, when we were still feeling around in the dark. What exactly would you like to talk about then? Each other, of course? I have nothing to say. Now, let's not be rash. It can be anything. Things you like, things you don't like. Start with something small, insignificant. Does that serve any purpose? It does, yes. The more you know about someone, the closer you feel to them, and the better friends you can become. Is that how it works? Now that that's out of the way, ask me something. Ask me anything, and I'll gladly answer. Her eyes are lit up like a child's. Is she really so eager to converse with me? I don't believe it. What's the matter? I'm ready for anything. Very well. I'll ask whatever comes to mind. Go for it. Go for it. Oh, am I gonna have to select a question? I'm now accustomed to these long pauses where things don't. Age. Tell me about your family is a nice question. This is a nice question. Oh god, it's like I'm on a first date or something. You want to know about my family? We were pretty normal, I think. Not much interesting about us. We'd been able to get citizenship in the capital, but we weren't super rich or anything. In fact, it was because you're having money troubles that I ended up here. It's not easy for 3 women to make it on their own. You didn't have a father or any brothers? No, I lost my father to a plague when I was young. Oh, and since then it's been me, my mother, and my older sister. But they're both bright, lively people. Our family motto is a smile can make anything better. Maybe that explains why she can still smile now, even after nearly succumbing to despair. I've always kind of wanted some brothers, though. Men are more suited to physical labor, yes. Good one. Not quite what I was going for. I feel like, I don't know, kinds of things you would ask a brother and a sister for help with are different. Not sure how to explain it, but a guy with broad shoulders and muscular arms is someone you can look up to, for instance. Someone who looks like they'd always keep you safe. She's never been betrayed by family, it would seem. She can't even imagine family hurting her. She has no idea that those closest to you, those who are supposed to care about you more than anything, can be your greatest enemies. That blood is a bond heavier than any chain. Master? I believe your brothers are still on your side. It's been so long, I don't know if they are. I don't know what they think about me anymore. I'm sure they're still your allies. You want to believe it too, don't you? You want to believe they're not enemies? Let's believe in them together then. Anything you want to believe, you should. It's such a better way to look at the world than the other way around. You have to be positive, or one day you'll crack. Always remember to have faith so that doesn't happen. I don't understand. She's honest about her emotions in a way I simply cannot be. She is the exact opposite of me in that regard. And yet she can still read me. I don't get it. How can she understand me like that? It's like she can read my mind. If only I could just tell her everything. Make it all another page in our mindless chatter. Get everything weighing down on me off my chest. Is something the matter? You're cruel. What? I said you're cruel. Well, that's a pleasant conversation. Oh, I'm sorry. Ignore me. In preparation for the day you can finally go back home, you're going to have to stop being such a picky eater. Where did that come from? Think about how terrible it would be if, when that day finally came, you went back sickly and weak and emaciated. You wouldn't be able to enjoy yourself. You're still alright, Master. You're doing okay. So let's try to keep you healthy. No, I will not eat the turnips or whatever the food was. Okay, tell me your preferences, whatever the hell that means. Wow, how very forward of you. Huh? My taste in men is the last thing I expected you to ask about, Master. I don't recall specifying people. Now, don't fret the details. It's only natural to be curious, so let's make it about that. And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Alright then, tell me about your first crush, Master. God. And I have to start? I never had one. What? No, I'm not buying it. You were living at home until 10 years ago, weren't you? Surely there was someone who caught your eye. There was not. Without missing a beat? Oh, fine. Then I'll go. My first crush was the son of a blacksmith. You missed the part where you asked what kind of guy was he. He's like, I don't care. I do not care. This is such a pain. Since you asked, he was a huge muscular fellow. He was so tall he could always hit his head on the doorway whenever he came into our shop to trade. Oh. Nice, beefy guys really are great, huh? Well, they are, man. They make your heart get all fluttery and tight. Are you trying to imply I don't have a chance? Though I think that was more admiration than love. You know, the way a group of girls will get together and fawn over a popular, good-looking guy. It was like that. So you're saying the buff bastard was popular? Very much so. I wonder what love feels like. I never get the chance to find out. Before ending up like this. I never got the chance, I mean. What's that stupid song? Nice guys finish last. I can't even remember. It's whatever. Okay. Giselle continues. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get all dark on you. Say whatever's on your mind. I don't deserve your consideration. It was my family that put you through that after all. Perhaps it was my reticence that causes her to watch her step around me. Damn, need to come up with something to say. When I was 14. Oh? You asked about my first crush. Ah, I knew you had one. So tell me, what was she like? She was a daughter of a noble family. Her name was Amy. And she was a year older than me. Ah, love between nobility. A world I can only imagine. It never went anywhere. What? You didn't try to woo her? You didn't shower her in presents? Were you by chance a late bloomer, master? Shut this conversation down. She was my brother's fiance. Oof. Ow, dude. Tragic. Oh, I see. So it was a love that could never be realized. That's sad. Not really. Besides, don't feel anything for her anymore. That's right, Mikkel. I tell myself that all the time too. When I don't even think about her anymore, man. I don't even know her. What's her name? I don't even. I don't feel anything. Yeah, and then he says, and what I felt then was just impulses. I guess that makes us both inexperienced. Suppose it does. Okay. I think that's enough of that. This is her fault. Awkward questions get awkward answers. Actually, she would say that I asked and then she flipped it. But I mean, so it is. Alright, time to ask about the age. It's fine. It's whatever. We can't get any worse. We can't get any worse. My age? Take a guess. I thought she said she would tell me anything. Oh, it's gonna make me guess? Oh, what the fuck? I'm not gonna say a number before it gives me choices. Okay. You must be 30, bro. Don't say that. Okay. If I had to guess. I know it's different times and different situations and all, but here I'm gonna eliminate, if I'm just striking up a conversation saying you must be 30, picking the oldest option and then also going 18 question mark also sounds bad. So you probably want to stick to one of these. And if I'm just parsing language, I'm gonna say 20. Are you 20? Final answer. Wow, you're exact, dude. Oh, close the stream. We're not getting any better than that. Wow, you're exactly right. You're surprisingly astute, master. And what's surprising about that? I didn't expect you to get it on your first try. Have you been secretly watching me? Have you been looking at a Fata Morgana guide online? Oh, master, you're making me blush. Why would watching her? Huh? Why a silent death stare? I'm struck with an overwhelming urge to hurl you out of a window. That's very funny. No, I'm not using a guide. That was a joke. That was what we call in the business a joke. That was a pure guess on my part. Come on. Dude, what do you take me for? Ah. I'm struck. Oh, okay. Throw out the window. That's a good response. Oh, you're no fun. Okay, it's your turn now. How old are you, master? Could you imagine if I had like a guide open for Fata Morgana? Bruh. I gotta make sure I'm choosing the right options or whatever. Okay, as I recall, I should be 27 this year. Oh wow, you're much older than I expected. What did you expect? You are very mellow, like I would expect of an older man. But every once in a while, you give the impression of a teenage boy. Hurts to be called a teenage boy. For what it's worth, I mean that in a good way. For what it's worth. The fuck does that mean? Giselle, get back here. I'm throwing you out a window. Do you like being here? This is a loaded question. Of course. I love it here. Being with you, being able to talk to you like this. See, that I don't understand. What? Why not? I find it difficult to believe there exists any reason speaking with me would be anything but unpleasant. You're so negative. Oh, hush. Say that, for example, instead of me, there was someone not so pessimistic here. You would rather be talking to them, wouldn't you? I really do enjoy this, truly. I will admit, my time down in that village was, for the most part, delightful. But, oh, how should I put this? I started realizing, yeah, I'm kind of forcing myself to fit that image. And I'm trying to convince myself that that's okay. But somehow, when I'm here, there's none of that. I wonder why that is. I certainly wouldn't know. Suppose you want it. I know. I know. I know. Maybe I think of you as a kid now. Come again? I love talking to kids. What? Hey now, don't give me that look. What I'm trying to say is, you're very sincere, Master. You're not going to smile and then stab me in the back when I turn the other way. I can relax around you, which is nice. I see. You just blushed, didn't you? You're blushing, you adorable little thing. It's alright. You're allowed to fall for me. Is there any window in particular you'd like to be thrown out? Yeah, threaten her with the window. Let's go. It's great. No fun at all. See what I was saying, Master? With just a short conversation, I know you better than I did before. And you me. That's fine and well, but what do I do with that knowledge? Huh? You don't do anything with it. It's fun learning things you didn't know before. That's all there is to it. And what happens when there's nothing left to learn? That's a day I don't think will ever come. People are always changing, growing, so there's no upper limit to what you can know about them. There's always something new to discover. Maybe we'll be here for many more years, or maybe you'll be able to go home sooner than you expect. But either way, I hope we can keep getting to know each other until then. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can continue getting to know each other for years to come. Ah, hey now, what are you looking away for? What do you think? Because you keep throwing me off balance. A few months ago, I was doing everything in my power to avoid her. Yet now that smile of hers seems so oddly enchanting. I don't understand. I will do my best so that we can make this work. I'm glad to hear it. The story behind the story. Giselle, I was too awkward back then to even compliment you on your smile. To put my feelings into words, I was too cynical to accept what you had said at face value, which I knew caused you plenty of grief. I'm not much better now than I was then, but I will tell you this. When I next see you, I want more than anything to let you know how much I adore your smile, and how much I don't want to lose you or it ever again. You must never reclaim your old selves. Don't tell me what to do. Become my loyal servants, always at my side. Always ASMR, and curse them with me, my dears. Eternal suffering on all their souls! Exclamation point. My consciousness, wavering like a ship at sea, is slowly drawn back to the surface. With each new breath, feeling gradually returns to my fingers. I can hear the pattering of rain from somewhere, and the sound of a crackling fire. Creak, creak, creak. Splurt, splurt, splurt. Oh, the fucking splurt machine is going off. takes a moment for me to realize I'm in the very same spot where I first awoke. I don't know how I got here, but I'm sitting in a rocking chair, hunched forward. My head feels like someone filled it with rocks, and I'm having difficulty focusing. My joints are creaking, and I feel like I'm going to vomit. A suffocating odor hangs over the room. What is this? Giselle? Giselle? Everything comes back to me all at once. That's right, I watched Morgana kidnap her. I watched the witch drag her into the darkness, unable to reach her hand. Where are you, Morgana? I know you're there, cackling as you look down on me. Say something, witch! I will find you, and I will take her back. What on earth? There's a pool of liquid at my feet, rising just short of my ankles. It's sticky and uncomfortably warm. Every step I take makes splat splat noises. This is blood. The mansion has taken on a very different face from when Giselle was leading me through its halls. Blood of unknown origin not only covers the floor, but also streams down the walls and drips from the ceiling. Hello. Hello. I'm speechless as I behold the dreadful scene. Every breath I take tastes and smells of rust. It's all so unreal. Beyond my comprehension, all I can do is stare, aghast, feeling like I might pass out. Giselle? Are you seeing this? The same twisted nightmare as me? An image of her floating alone in a vast sea of blood flashes through my mind. That vision kicks me into motion. I promise I will come for you, so please just hang in there for a little longer. I begin walking, or more accurately, dragging my heavy feet forward. The constant splashing of blood against my ankles grates at my already taut nerves. Morgana told me to find my way to her, and I can think of only one place she would be. She and Giselle must be there. Get her. The stained glass window is splattered with blood too. It creates trails like streams of tears running down the Archangel's face. I give the window a brief glance before making my way to the door leading to the observation tower. However, why won't it open? There shouldn't be a lock. So why? Lustrous black chains seal the metal door. I can recall no such obstruction present during either my life or my time hereafter. What on earth is going on in this house? No, it's not important right now. What matters is making it through this door. Damn it! I pull and I push, but the chains won't give an inch. They feel sturdy enough that I probably couldn't cut through them either. There has to be some way. I consider giving up here and scouring the rest of the house, but I'm convinced the tower is my best chance. The fact that it's sealed now when it hadn't been before feels like a challenge more than a deterrent. I trace the length of chain with my hand, and at the end of it, I find a peculiar-looking lock into which the ends of several chains have been fed. There are 3 keyholes? Morgana fashioned a custom lock just for this. I need to find 3 keys to open the door, then. But I have no idea where to begin my search. Shit, does he have to go through the 3 doors? Are we going? Don't tell me I have to go back to fucking Nelly and Pinocchio and Bestia and like do some. Don't send me back there. Don't send me back. No, don't send me back. But I have no idea where to begin my search. I lived here for more than 10 years, and yet it feels like I've stepped into a strange land. No, it's not the same house. Searching blindly is only going to waste time. And the longer I take, the more danger she's in. I met someone before who had a key. Oh, the painting fellow person. Man or woman or... It was before I had reclaimed myself, when I was exploring the mansion alone. Think, Mikhail. Who was it? It's the painting person! Are you gonna make me select the painting person? Painting person! The painting! Stick your hand in the painting! I hope you pull out a key and nothing else. Like everything else in the house, the painting is covered in blood. That it depicts a serene rural landscape only makes the contrast that much grimmer. I remember talking to this painting, assuming I wasn't hallucinating. I have a question for you. Are you awake? Please, wake up. Scary. The man in the painting. Ah. Can you hear my voice? Please, say something. You reside here in the house like the witch, don't you? You've been here with her, all this time, haven't you? Then you must know how to get into the observation tower. About the 3 keys that I need to open the lock. I need to get into the tower. Please, tell me where I can find the keys. Say something. Say something, damn it. Answer my question. I too would freak out. Someone's there. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? What's the matter? I feel kind of strange. The witch do something. I don't even know how to read this. I'm sorry. Please get a hold of yourself. Everything's all red. I can't stand it. I don't remember losing that color. I reach my hand up to try to wipe as much of the blood off the canvas as possible. He's like short-circuiting a physical painting. But I can't even smear it with my sleeve, let alone get it off. You're wasting your time. But it's the thought that counts. Anyway, you had a question for me. I'm reading this so weirdly. I'm trying. I don't even know. I don't even know, man. Go on. I'm listening. It's been a long week. Oh my god. It's been, oh god. Okay. I've lost it probably. Mikhail says, I guess the painting isn't on the witch's side then. The door to the observation tower has been locked. I need to gather 3 keys, I think. That's my assumption since the lock has 3 keyholes. Do you know any such keys? And if so, could you tell me where they might be? Keys? Keys? Please, get a hold of yourself. Please get normal so I don't have to read like a weirdo. Please, stay with me. You're the only one I can ask for help. Keys. I'm guessing that this is probably in some way connected to her past. Pop. Her past? You know the events the witch is always cursing about. What happened between her and those the 3 men? What the fuck are you on about? What happened between them? The keys are probably with the 3 of them. The 3 shadows. You must have seen them. 3 men. Shadows. Find and you'll probably find the keys too. But watch yourself. They aren't likely to trust you easily. The depth of their sins grows greater the farther you go. Visit them in order. In order. The first one probably won't be a problem. I'm exhausted reading this. This is probably exhausting to listen to. Jesus. I could just read this way more straight and probably not annoy everyone. So tell me something. You're Mikkel, aren't you? What? I've wanted to apologize to you for so long. Wait, what do you mean? Do you know me? Did you? What do you want to apologize for? Tell me, please. Could you be? But why? How? When everything else is finished, I'm going to need to visit this painting again. Don't go back to the painting, man. He's done. We've tapped him out of resources. But now, I have other things to do. Also, the short of this is, it was exactly what I thought was going to happen. I'm probably going to have to go to the other doors, and we got to re-experience the hell that is Bestia and fucking Nelly and Pinocchio. Ugh. The painting gave me a hint about where I could find the keys. I don't know anything about this past Morgana has with the three men. I never asked her about herself after all, so maybe I'm going to end up having to do more than simply take Giselle back. Has our involvement with the witch caused us to be swept up into her twisted maelstrom of fate? Regardless, I need to get to work. Painting said to visit them in order. I assume he was referring to the order I entered the three doors. Wow, are they really gonna quiz me on this? As if someone's playing this and they're paying so little attention. Oh, fuck. Actually, no. It would be... Den would be... Oh, I thought it literally was gonna tell... Okay, I spoke too soon. I mean, Rose Garden is heavily associated with the first story. Downstairs cellar was the Bestia. That's where I think, the blonde or white-haired girl, like, was killed. Den was... Probably, is the den what they would consider where, like, Pinocchio and whoever, Maria, were, like, hanging around a lot? Is that where the billiards table was? I'm gonna go with the Rose Garden. Final answer. I'm probably wrong. Can't wait. But that's my thought process. I make my way to the Rose Garden. The corridor leading there is a mess, and the wooden door is rotting away. I can smell the flowers on the other side. Everything is different from when I was alive, from when Giselle planted and raised that single rose. A scene from the past spreads out before me. The field of once proudly flourishing roses is now withered and gray. Knowing how beautiful it had once been only makes it that much more dispiriting. A bitter breeze brushes past me. Solitude hangs over the garden like a thick fog, eating away at me. This isn't what I wanted. Someone get me out of here. Oh God, tell me, it's not all my fault. A young man's shadow stands off to the side, muttering listlessly to himself. I recognize his voice. Do you have the key? The boy and I have never met, but I feel like I know him quite well. Like we have been acquainted for many years. I know how polite and mild-mannered he is. I know how kind and how vulnerable, how human his heart is. However, very little of that boy seems to remain. This isn't what I wanted. Oh God. Please, answer me. Someone get me out of here. Tell me, it's not all my fault. Answer me, Mel Rhodes. I know that's you. Huh? As soon as I say the shadow's name, it turns to face me. I still can't make out much detail, but he seems slightly less tenuous now. Who are you? How do you know my name? My name is Mikkel. I once lived here in this mansion. Michelle? No, Mikkel. I know that name. I know it very well. but something's not right. You look different from the Michelle I remember. I'm not the Michelle you know. Michelle. Fuck, this is why it would get confusing. I think I was on the right path here. Our names simply sound the same. Oh, that makes sense. She would never come see me. I have a question for you. Do you have the key to the observation tower? I do. Would you please give it to me? I need to get into the tower. And what do you need there? There's someone there I need to find. That's all? It may not sound like much to you, but it means a great deal to me. Just give me the fucking key. You're not one of her prisoners then? No. I came here of my own will. To find this person? Exactly. Then maybe you can help me. Help you how? Set me free. Convince her to release me from this place. I'm begging you. The anguish emanating from the boy's shadow is so thick it causes me to recoil. There's a thread of dark desperation in his voice. Has he been in prison here for hundreds of years like Giselle? Promise me, you'll get me out of here. Am I even equipped to judge whether that would be a good decision or not? All I know of him is that his time in the mansion during the Era of Roses. I know nothing else of his life. I don't even know if I would be capable of keeping such a promise. Do I have the strength to save anyone other than her? Do you absolutely need the key? At this point, I would just, if I was Mikhail, I'd be like, just make the empty promise. What? The shadow being? You need the keys. This kid, for some reason, shadow of a kid is not giving you the key for whatever reason until you promise. Sure, yeah, I'll definitely help you. Give me that key. You won't agree to help me without it, will you? What? I dropped it. Over there. Huh? The boy is pointing to a thick bramble of roses. Despite the flowers themselves being wilted, the thorns are still sharp. Oh, it's like Fear Factor. You gotta put your hand into the bramble of thorny roses to get the key. That's a reference. It was an accident, I swear. But I didn't want to scratch up my arm, so I left it there. It's not my fault there are so many thorns. I really want to hit this boy. I really want to hit this boy. It's such a funny line. That's so good. Reminds me of Saw. Oh, yeah, it's a little Saw-like. What's my... Mikhail. I heard you really... I can't do like a what's that puppet's name? Billy? I can't do a Billy impression unless I immediately hear it. I'm not an impressions person. If that probably shocks no one. So my joke falls flat. I really want to hit this boy. Why couldn't you have just said so? Because I thought if I didn't have the key, that you wouldn't help me. There's only so much I can do, regardless of whether you have the key. I cannot promise you anything, nor can I be the judge of you. I see. I do not have enough information to make such a decision. Cheap promises and superficial kindness will only serve to destroy the both of us. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to retrieve the key. What? You'll never get it out of those thorns. I don't care if it's at the bottom of the ocean. I will have that key. You're wasting your time. Bye. I approach the bramble, reaching out for it with my right hand. From behind me, I can sense the boy watching. First, I attempt to spread the tangled, thorn-ridden stem so I can put my arm in without injuring myself. Alright, I know I'm not one to necessarily critique, but fucking just put your hand in it. What? What? It's a bramble of thorny roses. You're in like this weird life or death, purgatory, hell-like situation, and you need keys and you're trying to save your love. Just fucking... adrenaline must be pumping at this point in your body. Just stick your hand in there, grab the key, and you'll be fine. You've dealt with bigger pains in like the last 10 minutes, I think. Both physical, emotional, and mental. You just grab the key. Just grab it. Just grab it. So I can put my arm in without injuring myself, but they seem to be made of iron rather than plant. And my efforts prove mostly fruitless. What, Saw? The movie franchise? Now, to be fair, I have not seen any Saw movies. I've seen clips from Saw, so I... Oh, okay. I was about to say, damn, even that's not registering. I keep telling my friend is a big proponent of the Saw movies. Like, they're a fun time. In the same way that, like, some people are proponents of, like, the Fast and Furious series. That's, like, it's goofy, dumb, but, like, if you just kind of buy into it and just have fun with it, like, it's a series you should watch. So I have a friend who tells me I should always go and watch the Saw movies. And I'm always like, it's really hard for me to, like... I always talk about, like, with how much time I have in life, which is very little, and, like, I'm doing other things, it's very, and like my attention span sucks. Like it's very hard for me to like sit down and like get through a movie. Unfortunately, so I don't know. Maybe someday I'll watch the Saw series. Maybe. The only opening is barely large enough to fit an arm in and resembles the toothy mouth of a beast. But the rest are kind of gore, torture prone. Yeah. Yeah, I heard their quality's mostly missed, but like, again, if you're just going in for goofy time, maybe. I mean, like I said, me and a circle of friends of mine, we did the watch through the whole series of Fast and Furious, like, I guess at this point, like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. And that was a good old time. But that was like with friends, and we watched it and understand that it's like dumb. But if I was to watch Saw, it'd be by myself. I'd be watching Saw by myself, and I don't know how much fun that's gonna be. The only opening is barely large enough to fit an arm in and resembles the toothy mouth of a beast. Looking around the garden, I can't find anything that looks remotely useful. I guess my only option is reaching in. It's not going to stop me. I lean down, inserting my right arm into the thorny cavern. Immediately, they begin ripping at my sleeve and gashing at my flesh. Ew, ew, ew. Ugh. Blood spills down my arm. I'm long since dead, no longer human, but the pain is still agonizing, still very much real. Giselle, she doesn't bleed, she doesn't feel pain. Am I not the same as her then? It doesn't matter right now. Focus on getting the damn key. Streams of crimson spread through the steel-like tangle, gnawing at my arm like a ravenous animal. Where the hell is the key? The thorny stems are twisted and layered so thick, I can't see inside at all. Okay, so I'm imagining... okay, so in this first one, Rose Garden, we have to reach into thorny roses. What are the other doors going to be? It's going to be like... in the billiards room, you must sink the 9-ball corner pocket for you to get the key. And in the Bestia door... I don't know. You must fight Nakamura, or whatever his name is. Kimimasa. What was it? Tsukimasa. What was his fucking name? You have to fight him in a sword fight or something. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what the fuck that guy's name was. It's Kurimasa, Tsukimasa. I know I'm close. Yukimasa? Did I say Yukimasa? I think it's Yukimasa. You have to fight him one-on-one to get the key. The thorny stems are twisted and layered so thick I can't see inside at all. As I dig around blindly, I start losing feeling in my arm. It's an endless deluge of pain. Hey, cut it out! You're going to lose your arm! I will not stop till I have the key. Don't ask me for help. I wasn't even considering it. I collect what remains of my gradually fading sensation and focus it into my fingers, praying even one of them will brush against the key. Oh, you know what that also means? We're probably going to get like a spiritual shadow helper at each of these locations too. So we're going to have the annoying girl lady in the second door. And then, knowing our luck, we're probably going to have shitty bitchy Maria in the third door. She's just gonna be yelling at us as we somehow are trying to get a key. She's just laughing at us or something. I collect what remains of my gradually fading sensation and focus it into my fingers, praying even one of them will brush against the key. Damn it! But as much as I search, as much as I dig, I find nothing so much as resembling a key. Which means it must be deeper than I can reach my arm. Even so, I cannot give up. Nice sound effects. Hey, please, be quiet, right now. I need to focus. I'm sorry, I do have the key, actually. You what? I'm so sorry. It didn't look like you were willing to help even if I gave it to you, so... Plus, she told me not to give it to anyone for any reason. Alright, so we can just murder this Mel right now? Hold still so I can beat you. I didn't mean you any ill will. You most certainly did. I'll give you the key, so please have mercy. Trembling in fear, the boy's shadow sticks out a hand holding a key. The arm I used to dig through the thorns is so bloody and gashed I can barely look at it, but it does still function. That's fucking insane. And so, I take the key from him with my right hand. Key acquired. That is so goofy. Why couldn't you use your other hand? That's gross. That's the idea. You're kind of a jerk, you know? That's a laugh coming from you. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? I know. I'm sorry, really. But hey, you're alive, so no big deal, right? But wait, can you actually say either of us are alive? Ha, I don't even know anymore. Ha. I do appreciate you giving me the key, though. Seeing as it seemed to be rather important to you, too. Hey, is this person you want to get back really worth going through all this for? She is. She's the one person who ever loved me, and she's waiting for me. I see. You know, I had someone that meant a lot to me, too. My sister. Which one? Which? The one with flaxen hair, like me. Which one is a good question. For a second I was like, what does he mean, which one? And then I like boom, 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 like flashback, like boom. Terrible. If you happen to see her, do something nice for her, please. That, I would say, is your responsibility. Yeah, you're right. But I'll keep it in mind. Thanks. In the tale I witnessed, the boy pushed his sister away. For an understandable reason, admittedly. But now, he seems to bear no grudge for her. Did something else happen between them? Even if it did, I don't have time to ask about it. I'll be on my way. Maybe if I didn't have to waste my whole time having my arm gashed, I would have some extra time to ask him, you know, what maybe happened. But no. Now I don't want to speak to this boy. Alright, take care. There are 2 more keys. Watch out, though. They're not the most friendly people. And they'll probably be even more enraged locked up like this. Appreciate the warning. If only someone like you had shown up sooner and taken the keys from us. Goodbye. After bidding me farewell, the boy's phantom dissipates into the shadows of the rose garden. I wonder if he's gone back to mindlessly muttering his regrets. I should get going. That was wild. That was almost unnecessary. I think I'm correct in thinking that the den would be the third, and this is... I'm trying to think if there's anything... Yeah, I think this has to be it. I wonder what would happen if I chose wrong. Game over. I gotta get my non-game over streak. My non-losing streak intact. I descend the stairs, opening the cellar door. The first time I visited this room, the smell of blood from within was nearly suffocating. Now, the entire house reeks of it. I've started to go numb to the odor. There's no one here. Am I in the wrong place? I begin exploring the cellar, hoping to maybe find the key hidden away or abandoned somewhere. As I reach my hand out to investigate one area... Row. A shadow leaps out of the thick darkness. Oh, what did I say? It's gonna be a one-on-one fight here. It's so swift I have no time to react. My body freezes in place. Man. A shadow stands before me, holding the tip of a blade mere inches from my face. Wait, I'm so right about the sword fighting. Am I right about the sword? Grab a sword. A key. You have a key. I do, yes. Cold sweat trickles down my back. My voice is shaking and there's no hiding it. The shade appears to be glaring at me, though I cannot make out its face. After a few seconds, it withdraws its blade. Let me see it. The boy's key. Did he give it to you? In the rose garden, yes. Are you two acquaintances? How could that be, though? You were from a completely different era and country. Who are you? No, never mind. Who you are is irrelevant to me. Are you human now? If you are speaking of my nature, then no is the only answer I can give you. You didn't kill me, though. If you wanted to, you could easily skewer me where I stand. If that's what you want, I'd be happy to oblige. What did you come here for? For your key. I came to ask if you would give it to me. You mean to open that door? I need to get into the tower, yes. I see. Take it. Oh. Oh. That was easy. Who would have fucking thought that the trying to get the key from Mel would be the worst experience than this guy? The man shadow tosses the key at my feet. I'm not quite sure what to think. I didn't expect him to give it up so readily. What? Take it. I won't stab you in the back while you're bending over. I thought you were supposed to hold on to this at all costs. I no longer have any reason to guard that key. In the past, I might have severed your head from your shoulders the moment you mentioned it, though. What point in the past? That's a question I wish I knew the answer to. Hey, do you know why I'm here? Where this place is? When it is? Why can't I get out of here? What's happened to me? Tell me! I have no idea what's going on! Not a single goddamned idea. Neither do I. Get out. Take the key and get out of here. Get out! Can't bring myself to say anything to the enraged shadow, so I follow his command, picking up the key and departing the cellar. It was a pleasure meeting you. I thought I was dead for a second. This makes two, though. What could have happened between these people? The painting mentioned a past with them, and Morgana spoke of the wicked men she cursed. Does that mean they did something awful enough to earn Morgana's spite? Right now, though, I must push onward. If I'm not mistaken, the final key should be in that room. The room with the billiards table? What is billiards, anyway? I should get moving. Alright, sounds good. You have a good night. Once I have this key, I can get into the observation tower. I'm almost certain Morgana is waiting for me there, with Giselle. So I gather up my resolve and hurry to the last room, not wanting to take even a second longer than necessary getting her back. Like I said, you're gonna have to play a round of pool against Pinocchio for the key. I can hardly believe my eyes when I step into the den. In the middle of the room is a large rectangular table. Several balls roll across its surface, and perched on one corner, looking down at the floor, is her. Giselle? Giselle! The question of why she's here never crosses my mind. All I feel is elation to see her once more. There's no room for anything else in my head. I run over to her, put my hand on her shoulder. Thank goodness you're all right. And turn her toward me. Oh! Oh! What? What? Giselle! Giselle! I shake her, causing her head to droop lifelessly. There's not a trace of blood in her unmoving eyes. Why? Giselle, why? Say something, Giselle. Say anything, please. This can't be. You can't be. You can't be! My mind goes blank. I can't catch my breath. The world is hazy. Why? Why is Giselle? Why did I have to find her like this? Why? I swore I would do anything. I swore I would never lose you again. No, 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 this can't be. A thought crosses my dazed, despair-wrought mind. It's probably nothing more than vain hope, but... Not a drop of blood spilled from my breast. That's right, she doesn't bleed. So this can't be her. This isn't her. Or maybe Morgana has the power to alter Giselle's very nature. Kill her with the flick of a wrist. No, I don't even want to think about it. There's no hope to be found down that path. All I can do is pray. Beg for her to still be alive. Or, if alive isn't the right word, herself. My prayers bring me back to reality, which is when I realize there's something hard pressed against the back of my head. I hear a harsh metallic clink. What? Oh, it's the guy. A piercing bang rips through the air as I drop to the hard floor. My ears are ringing painfully. Through the cloud of smoke and confusion, I see a man's silhouette. Missed. It takes several moments for me to recognize the object in his hand as a gun, not only because it's draped in shadow, but because I've never seen one with my own eyes. Had I not witnessed what they were capable of through the stories, I would not have understood how terrifying they were. Not a problem, though. I'll finish you with the next one. Now, you hold still, boy. Start running around like a rat and I can't guarantee you a painless death. Wait, hold on a second. What are you trying to kill me for? Because you make too much goddamn noise, that's why. Don't tell me. You're the one who... What? I turn my gaze toward the large table. Giselle isn't there. It must have been an illusion after all. The realization sends a wave of relief through me. I still have a gun in my face, though. Curious man you are. Does the table warrant your attention more than me? I have a request. Could you give me the key in your possession? That's all I need, then I'll leave and stop making a racket. I'm not sure you understand your predicament, boy. Because if you think you're in any position to be asking favors, you're dumber than you look. Ha! First off, I don't even know what key you're talking about. I don't believe that. The other two had keys. You telling me they gave you their keys? Sounds like they really do know each other. See for yourself. I believe you should recognize these. Are you collecting them to enter the tower? Are you going to see Morgana? There seems to be a hint of tension in the man's voice. Though I can't see his face, I can sense the waves forming within him. I brace myself for either rejection or hot lead, but the apparition gives me neither. Take me with you. What? You have the other two keys, don't you? Then you can open the door. Bring me to the witch. Wait, slow down. What are you planning to do when you see her? What do you think? She has to... She... has... to... He's gone. She has to... What? What was he trying to say? Key get. Funny. On the floor, where the shade stood, is a new key. Curious though I am about his last words, this makes 3. I have all the keys now. Are you trying to rile me up, Morgana? Are you enjoying yourself up there, showing me these phantoms and watching me squirm? Just you wait. I'm on my way. I gave the room a brief once-over before making my way back to the chapel. Key. The keys fit perfectly in the openings on the lock, and when I insert the last one, it clicks open. The chain sealing the door falling to the floor. Floorboard. It's so funny, like, getting the 3 keys, I know it's a symbolic thing, and it's a reason for us to go to the different rooms and interact with the the shadow ghost beings of the past stories that we've read and all. But it's so much like, it's so like video game coded, like you must go to the 3 different rooms in the right order and deal with the room's boss to get the key, and then the 3 different key shapes will open the final door. It's like so video game coded. I kind of appreciate it. Chain stealing the door, fall on the floor. They're waiting beyond this door, at the top of the stairs. I start pondering what I can even do in a face-off against Morgana, which sends a nervous shudder down my spine. I'm not going to back down, regardless, but she is a witch, and I'm a mere human. Formerly human. I'm not a master swordsman, nor do I wield a gun. I have nothing at all with which to fight her. Still have to confront the witch, though, no matter what. As laughably reckless, as foolish as I may be, I have no other option. I place my hand on the door, preparing to climb the tower where I once spent my last breath. Giselle locked safely away in the chamber at the top. The tower where I first met the witch. No hesitation. Get in there. Good luck. Sound of blood streaming down the stairs echoes off the stone walls. Although I have begun growing numb to the house's otherworldly ornamentation, the sight of a seemingly endless river of blood flowing down the spiral staircase sends a chill through me. Every step I climb makes a splat-splat noise. When I reach a window, I look out to see a churning reddish-black fog. Now this brings me back. You climbing these stairs alone, just like old times. Morgana. I waited so long for someone like you to show up. Someone with enough despair to resurrect me. Give her back. But now, I don't see it in you. I don't feel one bit of that intense hopelessness anymore. Give her back. And here I had thought we were cut from the same cloth. Morgana! Yes, I'll give her back. If you can make it to me without losing yourself. I will not give up. Doesn't matter what you do. Looking up, I can't see how far the stairs extend. It's just a gaping blackness, so I have no way of knowing for sure whether I'm getting any closer. Around and around, around and around, around and around. Beneath me, the blood river traces the same path in reverse. I start to wonder if the staircase even does end, if I'm not just eternally retracing my own steps. But I continue climbing regardless. It's all I can do. Put one foot in front of the other and hope I can make it to the top. Morgana? What is this place? What did you do to it? What is it? Why, it's the mansion you lived in for a decade, of course. You look at this and tell me it's the same house. What's with the blood everywhere? And the 3 shadows? Now, my dear. No need to raise your voice. And you're being impolite. One question at a time. Answer me! What is this place? That's immaterial. Even if I were to give you an answer you found satisfying, what would that knowledge do for you? Your objective is to reach the top of these stairs and rescue Giselle. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that right? Or, by chance, have you taken an interest in me, despite never once asking me about myself before? My gut tells me that without knowing what this place is, without even the briefest glimpse at its nature, I won't be able to safely get her back. Without knowing what I'm up against, I don't stand a chance. Please, tell me about this mansion, Morgana. About yourself. What are you, Morgana? A witch. No. A witch, that's what my title says. No, that's not what I'm asking. Why do you have the powers you do? What are you? Yes, I get it. Humans feel the need to attach names to things and phenomena they don't understand. I understand that feeling very well. Which is why I'm sure you'll be rather disappointed when I reveal the truth. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'm an ordinary human. That's not possible. You expect me to believe a human created this illusion? Then are you saying I'm a magician or a wizard like you might see in a fairy tale? I would believe that, over you being human. Think back then, would you? Recall our time together. Did I ever once use magic? Did I control fire or wind? Did I create illusions? No, I did none of that, because I could not. To you, when you were alive, I suppose you could say, I was naught but a simple ghost. A rather mischievous but otherwise powerless spirit. And I was nothing more to those 3 men either. The witch, Morgana, was never anything but a wretched phantom haunting this old house. But then, how do you explain this? Mikhail, my dear, we're not the same beings we once were. We're different than we were in the realms of light, the ear of the living. You figured that much out, though, haven't you? That you're already dead? Yes, I know. I know I couldn't possibly be alive. Yet still you view this world through the lens of the living. You make no effort to see it as the land of the dead. Tell me, why would you think that the realm of the living and dead are the same? Though the worlds behind each door were so vibrant, the mansion itself never had any color. They were the memories of the past, of the land of the living, of times forever lost to us. Our lives have already come to an end, my dear. Every last soul within these walls is dead. This is the world that lies beyond the end. It is my world. This is the afterlife. I get caught up in the minutiae. None of us had a future, so what reason is there for you to desperately obsess over taking Giselle back? Just like you, she's long since dead. She's a walking corpse. It's nothing I didn't already know, but hearing her say it is like a kick to the gut. Dead or alive, she still lives on within this house, and my spirit found its way back too. Why then should I not wish for her to have a future? No matter what form it may take. No matter if my choices erase her from this world entirely. Having seen what lies beyond the door in her heart, what happened in all those hundreds of years, I could never let her remain here with you, trapped in this world bereft of light, drifting aimlessly for all eternity. Ah, so determined you feel the need to raise your voice. But you're not going to budge on that point, I see. I ask you this again, Morgana. Please tell me about yourself. How did you become a witch? How did you end up attached to this house? I want to hear your story. You honestly want to hear about me? I do now, yes. But not for me. For her, right? Don't be shy now. It's the truth, isn't it? Besides, if you did say it was for me, not her, I might die of laughter. As you wish. You have seen many tales of people's lives since arriving here, and now you shall see mine. Though I ask you this, will you writhe in despair with me? Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? As I said before, that's what you want from me. Let me tell you something though, my dear. It will not be as easy to watch as you imagine. Now that you've reclaimed yourself, you'll be able to feel all my pain as if it were your own, to resonate with it. Resonate with it? You no longer have your little guardian with you either. My guardian? She was always protecting me. You'll have a wonderful time, I'm sure. It's a tale that could have only taken place in that era of miracles and spirituality. Wondrous and weird, senseless and stupid, hopelessly tragic. Will you watch it with me? As soon as the final word leaves her mouth, I'm engulfed in darkness, not even given a moment to brace myself. There. Tower stairs crumble beneath me. My feet have nowhere to go. As I'm being battered by the roaring blood river, my consciousness melds with another. Morgana lore? I guess? Oh. I carry within me the child of God. That is where it all began. Oh, here we go. The words of one foolish woman determined the course of my entire life. Before I was even born, my fate was decided. Did her claim come from faith? Was it her way of escaping reality? Did she do it for money or fame? I don't know. I'd been visited by an angel of the Lord. The village where she lived had suffered from years of poor harvest. It had been months since the last rain, and all the villagers prayed desperately to be blessed with succor. I am with child, though I have known no man. So proclaimed the pregnant woman in the midst of the drought. And so on the day of my birth, the very moment I let out my first cry, a heavy rain fell down upon the village. The storm quenched the parched earth, nourishing the crops and saving the village. The villagers were astounded, for they had thought the drought would never end. As plump drops of rain poured down upon the village, they gathered around newborn me in exultation. Exultation, yeah. Ah, she is the child of God! Perhaps there would be more wonder in claiming I had magical powers. Perhaps it would make a better story if I were to say there were higher forces involved. But all these years later, here's what I truly think. It was nothing more than a fluke, an improbable stroke of luck, an unbelievably fortunate accident for my mother in the village, and an indescribably unfortunate accident for myself. I am with child, though I have known no man. As if that's even possible. Maybe she had fooled around with a man who had gone and abandoned her, and she spouted those lies to convince herself that it never happened. None of the village men made any claim to be my father. Perhaps he was someone else's husband, and as such, he couldn't reveal himself, as adultery is a sin in the eyes of God. The girl they were praising as the child of God was indeed not more than the ordinary daughter of a wretched woman. At the time, though, I thought differently. I believed my mother's words, convinced I was a saint, and it gave me a sense of duty, of purpose, rather than superiority. As the daughter of God, I believed it was my responsibility to help anyone in need. So every day, I prayed. I asked my father what I could do, what I was meant to do. Not everyone is equally good, however. There'll always be someone who lends their ear to the devil's whispers. One man claimed I was the daughter of a charlatan. He shouted for all to hear, "If you really are the child of God, then perform a miracle for us." Could he have been any more unreasonable? Miracles are neither magic nor parlor tricks. They are realized through the power of faith. A lowly villager has no place demanding God prove his own divinity. It is the height of arrogance. But the man refused to heed my words, so, having no other choice, I contemplated what I would do to show him I was indeed a saint. And blood was the spark of my inspiration. Mikhail, the time when I lived and the time when you lived were not so different. Our views and beliefs about the world are very much the same, so you should understand that in our time, blood was seen as unclean. It was a dreadful thing, ridden with diseases, which was why we drained the blood from animals and purified the flesh before consuming it. But being a saint, my blood would have been different. Like the blood of the saints who came before me, mine would be blessed. I believed it would be able to cleanse people's impurities. For my demonstration, I chose an elderly woman afflicted with a terrible disease. She was on her deathbed, and no one thought she would live for longer than another day or two. The woman was overjoyed when I came to visit her. Sincerely believing me to be a holy servant of the Lord, she gathered all the strength she could muster to climb from her bed and kiss my feet. I felt an intensely deep love for this woman. Placing my hands upon her cheeks, I said with all the kindness in my heart, "My beloved sister, partake of my blood." The woman agreed without a glimpse of hesitation, and so I pricked the tip of my finger with a knife and let the blood drip into her mouth. Within 3 days, her health had improved enough for her to get out of bed unassisted. Seeing that, no one in the village doubted my powers any longer. It's the most powerful placebo effect ever. In fact, the man who had accused me of being the daughter of a charlatan was subsequently punished for his sins. He received much deserved retribution for challenging the daughter of God, for mocking her. But of course, being a saint, I forgave the man. He, in turn, repented and changed his ways, worshipping me as the true child of God. Now, I'll be honest with you. I was ecstatic, utterly elated. I felt like I was on top of the world, and I reveled in it. The villagers showered me with adulation. They revered me, the daughter of God. Anyone who didn't was punished. And on top of that, my blood could cause miracles. Tell me, do you think down on me for feeling that way the way I did? The actual child of God would never let herself be consumed by such base emotions, would she? But if you would give me a chance, I would like to explain myself. I was but a young girl at the time, and to a child, her mother is the world. Anything she says is the absolute truth. So when my mother's claims so happened to coincide with the lucky miracle, my young mind was set in stone. I was a saint. My blood could heal the sick, and nothing would convince me otherwise. After all, I was but a girl 6 years old. It is not my place to decide whether my blood truly had miraculous powers or not. If you think it did, then it did, and if you think it was all happenstance, then so it was. Miracles are brought about by faith, so the elderly woman who was healed was done so by the power of her own belief. Baseless hope and desire can, at times, make the otherwise impossible reality. You understand just how major a role religion played in our time, don't you, Mikhail? Especially as someone whose life was taken from him in the name of God. And you understand how powerful word of mouth can be as well, don't you? It didn't take long for word of the miracle-performing child of God to spread. Travelers from faraway lands came to our village, all in search of aid. Driven by a mixture of elation and duty, I gave my blessings unto every pilgrim who sought them. I gave them my blood, yes. My young hands were perpetually covered in wounds. Running out of skin on my fingers, I cut the back of my hands, my palms, my wrists. Before long, they had turned into swollen, carved-up black and red horrors. Oof. Oof. It's tough to read. And so I kept them wrapped in cloth at all times. The only time I uncovered them was to give blood to those who sought it. My lacerated hands were, in no uncertain terms, gruesome and unsightly, but the believers who came to see me all wept at my selfless sacrifice, and so I came to cherish those wounds. There were some for whom no miracle took place, but whenever that would happen, the villagers would come out and say, "The daughter of God is not to blame, you simply lack sufficient faith." Thus, such incidents had no negative effect on my reputation as a saint. For 3 years, I continued doling out blessings. One day, I was offering a prayer, my mother let slip her discontent. "Why must you hand out miracles for nothing? Why must you give strangers grace? We should be getting compensated. We deserve remuneration." Isn't the word remuneration? Remuneration. Maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe remuneration is a different thing. Whatever. If we charge just a little bit for each blessing, we could be living so much more comfortably. Oh yeah, nothing will go wrong from this. I was dumbfounded. How could the mother of a saint say such things? Helping people was my divine calling, and she expected payment? I nearly wept, hearing my mother preoccupied with such worldly desires. So I explained to her how important this work was. I taught her that we were not to covet material wealth, that we were to dedicate our lives to the service of our fellow man. "You're right, my dear saint," she said, understanding. And I believed her. I fell asleep that night convinced she truly understood and that there would be no more problems. But the next day, I was sold off. Men I had never seen before carried me by the arms and tossed me into a carriage. Confused and panicked, I stuck my head out, searching for my mother. Off in the shadow of the house, I saw her with a strange man, accepting a bag of coins. Oof. The carriage rocked back and forth as it rolled along a dirt road. Shaking and bouncing within it, I struggled with overwhelming grief and despair. It was, perhaps, the first time in my life I'd felt such a powerful emotion. I didn't know what I felt so much despair over, though. Obviously, it was over my present predicament, but I wasn't sure what about it hurt the most. Was it that I had been pawned off like a slave? Was it that my mother, the mother of a saint, had been blinded by money? Was it that the villagers had watched in silence as a disciple of the Lord was thrown into a carriage? Or was it that I, daughter of God, lamented my misfortune like a mortal? I decided it was a trial. My father, the Lord God, was testing my worthiness of being his daughter, so I choked back my urge to cry and sat there in silent contemplation. For almost 3 weeks, I was rocked around in the carriage. The coachman treated me well enough, but I'm certain it was only because he didn't want his precious cargo dying before he could deliver it. He did not, by any means, think me the child of God. The 3rd week, the carriage arrived at a city. It was much larger than the village I'd grown up in, with many, many more people crowding the streets. Something about them felt different, too. They all spoke in a tongue foreign to me, which is when I realized I was far, far away from home. I was delivered to the lavishly decorated mansion of the region's lord. Brightly colored flowers bloomed wildly in the garden as guests laughed and ate extravagant meals. And in addition to them, there were probably 4 times as many slaves moving about the grounds. Getting a range of looks from everyone we passed, from smartly dressed men to scrawny, emaciated servants, I was led to the Lord's chambers. The Lord was surrounded by beautiful women. Perhaps they were slaves, or perhaps they were prostitutes. I couldn't tell. Among them were some girls hardly older than me. They all wore thin swaths of cloth, barely covering themselves at all. The Lord looked me up and down, and with a laugh he said, "Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now." "Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit," I replied, shocked and furious he had just said something that so utterly blasphemous. In response, he said, "I bought you. You are my property. You have no right to an opinion." But I would not have any of it, and entreated him to give him his indulgent lifestyle and devote himself to the service of the Lord. But the more I pleaded, the deeper the creases on his face grew. Thinking back on it now is hardly surprising. A 9-year-old girl was scolding the most powerful man in the region. I believed it was my duty, that I was only doing what was right, but he surely saw it as incredible arrogance. So the Lord forced his will upon me. He bound my hands and feet and cut me without my permission, filling a goblet with my blood and passing it around to his guests. A saint's blood and good fortune to all. That was when I realized the Lord was only interested in the approval of others. He reveled in their envy as he pranced about, showing off his curious new toy, me. He didn't need my miracles. Neither he nor any of his guests were afflicted with disease or misfortune. They were all richly blessed. Every time he threw a banquet, he drained me of my blood. It became nearly impossible to find a spot on either of my arms that wasn't a swollen, reddish-black gash. Ugh. And soon, because my arms weren't providing enough blood for him, the cutting spread to my legs. I lived in a haze of half-consciousness. Honestly, I'm amazed it didn't kill me, though perhaps the Lord was simply taking care not to take more than my body could spare. Watching the wealthy partygoers laugh and sip my blood through bleary eyes, another wave of despair came over me. My miracles, my blood, were not meant to be an appetizer at a feast. They were meant for the sick and the poor. But despite my wishes, the Lord persisted to squeeze me dry day in and day out for his own enjoyment. For a while, I was convinced it was all God's test, that it was part of his plan for me, his daughter, that if I could make it through this trial, I'd be allowed to go back to helping people. That man would just celebrate my success, envy me, worship me. That sinners would face punishment. That divine retribution would be delivered unto all who had wronged me, a saint. With each passing day, my spirit grew more twisted. Would anyone have believed that scarred and bloody girl tied up on the floor in the banquet hall was a saint? Unlikely. This is no charitable gathering, but an unholy Sabbath. Perhaps it was caused by my corrupted spirit. Perhaps it was my heart's way of crying for help. Or perhaps it was the devil giving me my witch's mark. But no matter what the cause, during one of the bloody banquets I underwent a transformation. I was half conscious, as usual, when one of the guests pointed at me and shouted something. His face went pale as if he were afraid, which I found quite curious. The Lord then approached me, grabbing me by my hair and lifting my head. He yelled something, but I was far too gone to be able to make out what he was saying. Suddenly, I found myself released from my bonds, but my body had grown so weak from being tied up for so long, I didn't have the strength to hold myself up, and so I collapsed to the floor. I was still trying to figure out what was happening when the Lord drew a sword, raising it high above his head. His words in that moment reached me with perfect clarity. "You are a damned witch wearing a saint's skin." A witch? Why was he calling me a witch? I was the holy daughter of God. I had certainly never made a pact with the devil. What could have given him that idea? What was in store for me now? Had God performed some kind of miracle for him? Dozens of thoughts and questions floated through my mind as death hung over me. I couldn't comprehend anything, and so I didn't feel any fear or anger at my impending death. I was simply curious. What had happened to me? But before I had a chance to find that answer, the Lord swung down his blade. Boop. Without warning, without any time to prepare, the darkness drains away. And a second later, I crashed into the stairs, hard. Ugh. Right at my ear, I can hear the hiss of the river of blood. The world fades in and out of view, giving way to very real images of a past I never lived. I can practically feel the fire in my eyes of that mad blood banquet's guests. My vision distorts. I can't regain my focus. Whose blood is this streaming down the stairs? Is it hers? Is it mine? Who am I? A saint? A witch? Is what I'm seeing through a lens of clarity or madness? Wait, no. I'm not her. I am Mikkel, no one else. It hurts, doesn't it? It's hard to breathe. Your chest is on fire, your vision is blurry, it's dark, it's lonely, it's scary. It's frustrating, it's disheartening, it's exasperating, isn't it? What you're feeling is exactly the pain I felt. I reach my hand out in a plea for help, which is when I see something I can hardly believe. Oh, God. Both of my arms are covered in gashes, blood flowing from them without end. The raw flesh beneath my skin has been exposed to the open air. All I can bring myself to do is scream. That pain, her horrible past, is doing everything in its power to break me. That 9-year-old girl's sickening experiences are twisting and constricting and crushing me. Why? Why is this happening to you? Are you really that slow, my dear? You're empathizing with my pain. You're just that kind-hearted, Mikkel. Nah. You said you wouldn't give up, didn't you? That you would make your way to me? Then surely this won't be enough to do you in. Of course it won't. Mustering up every last bit of strength I can, I begin crawling up the stairs. The red river beats against my open wound, stinging painfully. The simple act of lifting an arm or a leg is almost unbearably agonizing. The blood dripping from my lacerated arms mixes with the blood already soaking the tower. So this is the pain Morgana suffered? Do you despise everyone, Morgana? Did your resentment at your mother's betrayal, at the people who came seeking your blood, at the Lord who took your life, turn into a hatred for all mankind? Your perception of me is still incorrect, Mikkel. My grudge is only against a select few. Think about it, my dear. Of the thousands, millions, billions of people living on this planet, my world is comprised of but a minuscule fraction of that. Hatred for all mankind? No, what I feel is not nearly so nebulous. Although, if I had died still believing I was a saint, maybe I wouldn't have such a well-defined mission. Are you saying the Lord didn't kill you? Oh my, did you actually think that was the end of my tale? Despite all your big talk, you're afraid of having to suffer through any more of that, aren't you? But you're the one who said you wouldn't give in. So go on. Know my pain. Without losing your mind. Oh, I'm losing my mind. Ah! Once again, my surroundings crumble. I have no say. I have no chance to object before I'm dragged back to that repulsive banquet. I reach out, stretching my hand as far as it will reach, but all I can grab is darkness. My bloody body sinks back into the abyss. The pain becomes more than just a memory, eroding away at my consciousness. You're a damned witch wearing a saint's skin. Maybe if I had died then, I wouldn't have become the witch you know now. But that's all conjecture. Theorizing about what could have happened is an exercise in futility. But no, I did not die that day. Brought together by constant mistreatment, the Lord's slaves chose that moment to start their revolt. When he swung down his blade, someone bumped into him and it was knocked off its course. Didn't have the strength to get to my feet, so I simply watched the chaos unfold before my hazy eyes. It never even occurred to me that I should try to escape. At some point during the riot, a young man, one of the slaves, grabbed me by my bloody, limp arm and led me out of the Lord's manor. The young man brought me to a slum, a place where the people banded together in their hardship, barely scraping together enough to eat every day, let alone pay the taxes demanded of them. By the time we had arrived at a small brothel located a ways into the slum, the fog was starting to clear from my mind. I knew where we were, and feeling the gazes of those scantily clothed women, I trembled. In a sense, that was possibly the most frightened I'd ever been in my life, despite everything else I had been through. The idea that I had fallen so far I would have become a prostitute scared me to death. After all, I was a saint, and saints were supposed to retain their purity. Spreading my legs for any man who gave me enough coins would shatter my very identity. As all that was going through my mind, I probably shouted "no" in protest, because a slave gave me an exasperated look and told me he hadn't brought me here to become a prostitute. He said he knew someone here, someone I could trust, and that she would give me a room. I had trouble believing him, though. I couldn't trust the word of a prostitute, someone who valued money more than her own body. It was all a trap, I was sure. One day, they would tell me I had to work. Nothing he would said would convince me otherwise. Apparently sensing my mistrust, the slave gave me an apologetic frown and handed me a mirror, saying, "Even if I did, you couldn't get any work looking like that." Damn, that's a truth nuke right there. I could not believe what I saw. That couldn't be my face. It had to be an illusion. There was no way. That was not the face of a saint. It couldn't be. It wasn't real. It wasn't possible. Patches of skin had fallen off my face, exposing the raw, red flesh beneath. It looked quite similar to what had been done to my arms and legs, except my face had never been cut before. Looking at myself in the mirror, even I doubted my own sainthood. The thing in my reflection was a hellish abomination. It was the twisted face of a witch. And although I was shocked by what I saw, at the same time it answered several lingering questions. It explained why the Lord and his guests had panicked at the sight of me, and it also explained why he had said I was a witch wearing a saint's skin. Over the course of the dozens of banquets I had participated in, my face must have mutated, twisted into this ugly, sickening, monstrous thing. The sight of what I had become sapped the last bit of willpower from me, not because I was particularly fond of my face or thought myself especially beautiful, but because it crushed me to see everything saintly about me crumble away. Test from God or otherwise, I didn't have the strength left to attempt to overcome it. Deciding I would rather be dead than struggle any longer, I begged the slave to kill me. Taking one's own life was a sin. If I did that, I would not be able to return to my father's side, and I wanted to ask him why I had been put through such tribulation. But the young man refused. He said, completely missing my intention, that if I persevered, good fortune would eventually find me. He said that if I lived on, I would eventually have a chance to get my payback. I had no such worldly concerns, though, but if no one would take my life, I had no choice but to live. I despised life at the brothel. The men who came to buy their services were disgusting buffoons, the kind of people who would think they could deceive God, and the women fawning over them were just as repulsive. That said, I had nowhere else to go, which meant I was forced to suffer that sickening place. But by the time a year or so had passed, my feelings about it had changed. The women of the brothel took good care of me, treating me like a sister. At first, it was just irritating. I was a saint, and how could a saint have prostitutes for sisters? But over time, I got to know them better, grew to appreciate their circumstances and hardships. Despite barely having enough money to keep food on the table, whenever they had a little to spare, they would use it to purchase medicine, ointments to apply to my arms, legs, and face. And as a result of their generosity, my arms and legs started looking almost human, but nothing had any effect on my face. Occasionally, the slave would drop in to check on me. The other men thought me ghastly and wouldn't get anywhere near me, but he was different. And every time he visited, he would say, "One day, I'll show you the world." And to tell you the truth, I was beginning to grow attached to it all. My time at the brothel was probably, all things considered, one of the brighter chapters of my life. There, I was neither saint nor witch, but an ordinary human girl. For the first time, I felt like my life had meaning beyond my assumed divine purpose. I was even beginning to feel kind of happy. And with each passing day, my intractable worldview was gaining a little flexibility. Perhaps I could perform miracles, but that didn't necessarily mean I had to be the daughter of God or a saint. Maybe I was just a regular person who happened to possess some unusual abilities. Ridiculous, isn't it? Despite coming to accept my humanity, I refused to let go of my miraculous powers. They were the last thing protecting what I thought of as myself. But to me at the time, it felt like a very dramatic change of heart. 3 years after the revolt at the Lord's Manor, I had my 12th birthday, for which they threw me a little dinner party. The women all pitched in to bake me treats. The young slave man was there too. I was happy. I thought that if life could continue on like this, I was fine with not going back to being a saint. But for some reason, happiness always seems to slip away as soon as you've got your hands around it. No one sincerely wants to lose it, so why must they? I certainly didn't mind not being miserable. Let me tell you what happened that night. On the night of my birthday celebration, bandits attacked the brothel. Now, bandits were hardly a rarity in that time, so everyone was always on the lookout, and we never went out at night. They wouldn't stop at robbing you either. They were armed with blades and would frequently kill their targets if necessary. But cautious as we were helpless against a direct raid. The brothel fell into a panic, screams echoing in the night. The customers were carved up and left for dead. The women were bound and stowed away to be sold. My peaceful world shattered in an instant, and the next thing I knew, I was some slave trader's merchandise. I don't know what became of the prostitutes who cared for me, or the slave who brought me to them. I assume the women were sold and the young man slaughtered. But regardless, I found myself being rocked around in the back of a carriage once more. Oh my god, that sucks. The carriage was packed so tight you could barely see the floor, and it smelled like death. Sweat, urine, feces, every foul odor imaginable compressed into a tiny space. There were both men and women there, nearly all of them muttering or groaning or weeping. Everyone was young, ripe to be put to work. It didn't take me long to realize what fate awaited these people and me. And when I did, I just sat there in silence. Then, for the first time, I cried. I was experiencing, I believe, a very human emotion. I was sad, hurt that I'd been taken away from a place where I was happy. From the woman at the brothel and that young man, it crushed me. And no longer did I wonder why such a thing was happening to the holy daughter of God. Something about my tears must have seemed strange to him, because one man saw me and said, "Why are you crying?" He was a curious man. To start, he looked very different from anyone else. Color of his skin, length of his nose, the shape of his eyes. Everything about him was new and unusual. Hesitantly, I replied, "I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me." The man fell silent, looking as though he was deep in thought. I had no idea why he asked me that, but something about him made me uncomfortable, so I couldn't bring myself to ask. Several hours later, the man suddenly stood up. The guards had no patience for anyone stepping out of line, and they didn't look like they would hesitate to kill us either. So, unsurprisingly, one at the back of the carriage drew a sword and pointed at the man. What was surprising, though, was what happened next. The man, his hands shackled like the rest of us, leapt for the guard, slamming his fist into his face and stealing his sword. The entire carriage was in shock. The guards were too stunned to effectively react, so they were quickly cut down. And because the one-man uprising had taken place between cities, there was no one the slave traders could ask for help before they were slaughtered. In the blink of an eye, it was all over, and there was nothing human about what I had witnessed. If I had to describe it, I would say it was as though a wild beast had attacked. The man ruffled through the slave trader's clothes until he found the keys, which he brought to me, ordering I unshackle him. And so I did as he commanded. Once they had enough time to process what had happened, the would-be slaves applauded. Their wretched souls had been saved. And for a moment, I believed so too. When the man's hands were free, he rolled his shoulders a couple times, made sure everything was in place, and then he began his massacre. Screams of agony filled the carriage as he ran his sword through the helpless men and women packed inside it. Blood and guts were splattered against every surface, and those who tried to escape did not get far before being mercilessly skewered. It was like a scene out of a nightmare. I was frozen in place, not out of fear, but because my mind had shut down. I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so my mind rejected it. With my brain having given up, my body was no more than a lifeless puppet. In short order, all the slaves were dead, and I was sitting in a pool of blood staring at the man. He pointed his blade at me and with a little smirk said, "Why didn't you run?" In turn, I asked him, "Why did you kill them?" The smile vanished from his face, and after a few quiet moments of pondering, he replied, "Because I felt like it." "And why haven't you killed me yet?" I asked, to which he gave a curt, "I don't know," then withdrew his blade and wandered off into the distance. And then I was all alone, surrounded by corpses. I glanced down, and half of someone's face was looking back up at me. Ooh. Ugh. Jesus. Okay. Awkward time to cut, but she probably has more story to even tell him. And like I said, I wanted to keep containing this to about 2 hours at max. So I think that might be our best almost 2 hours of reading that. But we are getting Morgana lore. We have been getting Morgana lore. The witch, Morgana. Great. We'll read more of this on Tuesday. We'll pick this back up. Hopefully do a nice big chunk on Tuesday. I do want to try to at least play an hour or two of Deltarune's Chapter 5. So I'm going to throw up a BRB screen. I'm going to have to get that set up just a bit. It'll take a few minutes. If you are hanging around for that, we'll have that start up. If you aren't going to hang out for that, then have a nice rest of your night. And have a great weekend ahead. Yeah, I'll get Deltarune startup. I'm excited to check that out. We'll do that. I need a BRB screen, don't I? There we go. All right, a few minutes. I'll go silent. We'll hit that up, and we'll start that in a bit.